welcome to Eureka Math. This is Module 1, Lesson 7, and we're moving into rounding now. This is a new standard, NBT .4, which is rounding of decimals. And I just want to do a little review of rounding with you first, okay? So let's say we have a number line, and I'm going to draw one here at the top of the screen. All right, there's my number line. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My number line goes from 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go 6 even. And let's say I have a number like 3.2. Okay, so where's 3.2 or 3 2/10 going to live on this number line? Where is it going to be? Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, all right, 3.2, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inside here. So 3.2 is right here, isn't it? Right there. That's the 3.2, 3 2/10. Now I want to round, which means I want to, in this case, I'm going to round to the nearest whole number. 3.2, does that round all the way up to 4, or does it round down to 3? Which one is closer here? Which one is closer? If you said 3, you're correct, okay? So we're rounding. Now, if I had a number like, let's see, if I had a number like 3.5, that would be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is my 3.5 line. That's just about halfway between, isn't it? It is halfway between. So when we get to halfway, are we going to go back to 3 or are we going to round up to 4? Well, when we get to 3.5, we round up to 4. So 3.2 would round to 3, and 3.5 would round to 4. Okay, so this is just basic rounding, okay? And we can round to any place on the place value chart, okay? So they want us to round a given decimal to any place using place value understanding and the vertical number line. Now this line that I drew is horizontal because it's on the horizon, it goes across. But they want us to learn how to do it vertically. So I'm going to draw a line like this. Okay? So at the top is my 6, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So here, if I go down, I'm decreasing, and if I go up, I'm increasing. Okay? Increasing, decreasing. We had a little trouble with that on lesson 6 as well. Increasing and decreasing. So increase means to add to, and decrease means to take away from. Okay, so up, down, increase, decrease. Now, if I do the same numbers on this line, 3.2 is still going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's still going to be right there, 3.2. And if I still did 3.5, it would still be right here, 3.5. Okay, 3.5 is going to round up to 4, and 3.2 is going to round down to 3. Okay, so up to 4 and down to 3. This is a horizontal timeline, and this is a vertical timeline. Now in this lesson they use vertical timelines, so be careful. Okay, so we're going to round a given decimal to any place using place value understanding and the vertical number line. So we're going up or down. We're going to round. All right, let's go to the problem set. Lesson 7, write your name on your paper. Okay, fill in the table and then round to the given place. Okay, read that carefully. Fill in the table. So we're going to do that first. Fill in the table. 3.1, 3 1/10. That's the number they've given us. Okay. Label the number lines to show your work. Circle the rounded number. Okay, so if we're going to round to the nearest hundredth, right? 100th, that's this number right here. Okay? So 3.10 would be the 100th, right? and then 3.09 would be the nearest hundredth here, and in the middle would be, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that right there. I want to do this. 3.10 is the number they gave us. That's going to go in the middle. And here's going to be 3.11. Okay, so the number they gave us is 3.1. But I added a 0 because we're going to go out to the nearest hundredth, right? So we're going to go out to the nearest hundredth. And 3.11 is going up 1, and 3.09 is going down 1. 100th, okay? Does that make sense? So 3 and 1100ths is the top. 3 and 1000ths is the middle. And 3 and 900ths is the bottom. So that's the hundredth spot. And I wish they had started with a bigger number, but they didn't. So what is the nearest hundredth here? 3.10, and we're not going up or down because it's already, there isn't even 1 there, so it's just 0, okay? So that's our answer, 3.1. Now let's go to the nearest tenth. Okay, so 3.1, right, 0, and then here we'd have 3.0 and 3.2, okay, the nearest tenth. Now it's already at the 10th. We don't need to go up or down. It's already there. So we're just going to, and then they give us 10s. Oh man, I wish they'd just given us 1s. That's weird. Yeah, I have some problems with this lesson, but that's okay. Okay. So the next one is 3.1 as well. They stay the same. Now here we've got 3.1, and they're saying tens. Well, the nearest tenth to that is 10, and then tens, right? Not tenths, tens, no TH. So 0, 0 and 10, okay? So 3.1, well, is that going to be closer to the 0 or closer to the 10? We don't even need to look, so this is the 10 spot here, right? Are we going to go closer to 10 or closer to 1? So we're going to go 3.1 here, right there. I think because it's lower than that, it's 0. So what's the nearest 10th? 10 is 0. Yeah, the up-down is tricky. It's tricky. Okay, so let's put this in the middle right away. 11, 5, 3, 7, 6. 11, 5, 3, 7, 6. I'm putting that right in the middle. Okay, so how many tens do I have? I have 11 tens, 5 ones, 3 tenths, 7 hundredths, and 6 thousandths. Here they didn't give us a 100 spot. I wish they had. Again, lots of problems with less than 7. All we need to do is figure out how to round. So after we go through this lesson, I might even tag some stuff onto it so you're nice and familiar. Okay, so the nearest hundredths. The nearest hundredths. So hundredths is this spot right here, right? That's the nearest hundredths. So our next nearest number would be 8, and the bottom number would be 7, okay? So 115 and 37 hundredths, or 115 and 38 hundredths. Now we're going to look at this next number and decide, should we go up or should we go down? Okay, so this is a 6. Remember, 0 through 4 go down, and 5 through 9 go up. So if this thousandths is a 6, that means that the hundredths go up. So this is our nearest hundredths. 1, 1, 5, 3, 8. This one was a little bit better. Okay, now the nearest ones. The nearest ones. Well, the next nearest one here would be 1, 1, 6, or 1, 1, 5. So 115 or 116. Okay, so are we going to round up or round down? So we've got 116. Again, I don't like this chart very much. Okay, we've got 5 ones. And we're going to look at the 10 spot. That 10 is here, isn't it? It's a 3 in the tenths. So are we going to go up or down from here? Are we going to go up or down? We're going to look at this number right there. Okay, that's lower than 5, so we're going to go down, and our nearest ones is 115. Okay? I'm making that face because I'm not sure you're getting it, but okay, next one, tens. The nearest tens here would be 120, and here would be 110. And I'm going to look at the 1 space right there, and that's a 5. So do 5s go up or do 5s go down? What's the nearest tens? Okay, 5s go up. So 120. Yes, no? All right, we'll keep going, we'll keep going. Okay, number 3. So we've got 0 ones, 994 thousandths. And below us, they've given us our vertical chart, and they want us to go to hundredths. Okay, so here's my number in the middle, 994. Okay, that's my middle number, so I can write it all the way across. And if I'm going to go up hundredths, here, it's going to be 1, right? Because this would go up. And if it's going to be hundredths here, it would be 99, right? Okay. So 9 turns into a 0, 0 carries over until we have 1. I wish they hadn't given us this example too. Ooh, they're really throwing a lot at you here, but you guys are smart, so you can handle it. Okay, so here's our hundredths. And we're going to look at this digit in the thousandths place. Now remember, I said 0 to 4 means we go down, and 5 to 9 means we go up. So in our nearest hundredths, with this 4, are we going to go up to that one or down to this one? Okay, if you said down, you were correct, and the answer is 99 hundredths. Okay, now we're going to do tenths. So the nearest 10 here would be 1.0 or 0.09. And we're going to look at the hundredths space to decide, are we going to go up or down? And again, it's a 9, so 9s go up, so our answer is 1.0. Now 1 or 0. And we're going to look at the 10th spot. That's a 9, so we're going to go up, and our answer is 1. And tens would be 10 or 0. And honestly, our 1 spot is already a 0, so we're just going to stay at 0. Okay, just like that. Hope you're getting this. Okay, I'm going to have more faith. I'm going to be confident that you are understanding what I'm saying. For open international competition, the throwing circle and the men's shot put, do you know what men's shot put is? If you watch the Olympics this summer, it's like a big heavy ball like this, and you have to throw it as far as you can, okay? The throwing circle and the men's shot put must have a diameter, and they throw it from a circle, and that circle, right, has a diameter. Diameter is cutting the circle in half, of 2.135 meters, okay? So they stand in the middle of the circle, and then they throw the ball as far as they can. Okay. Round this number to the nearest tenth. Honestly, none of this information is important to the question. All they want us to do is round this number to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to make my vertical number line, and I'm going to put my number in the middle, 2 and 135 thousandths. And the nearest tenth, remember this is the 10th spot, oh, I'm sorry, nearest hundredth, okay, would be 2.14 or 2.13, Okay. And we're going to look at the thousandth place to decide. Are we going to go up or down? Okay, up or down. And that's a 5, so we're going to go up. So our answer is 2 14 hundredths. All right, meters. Don't forget your labels. Jen's pedometer, a pedometer, like I have a pedometer on my watch, it tells me how many steps I count every day. You might have a little mechanical pedometer. If you walk with it, it measures your steps, okay? Pedometers measure steps because pedo means foot, and meter is a distance, right? So foot meter, foot measure. Jen's pedometer said she walked 2 and 549 thousandths of a mile. Okay, miles. She rounded her distance to 3 miles. Okay, so she had this distance here, and she rounded to 3 miles. So she went all the way up here to 3 miles. Her brother rounded that same distance, 2.549, to 2.5. When they argued about it, their mom said they were both right. How could they both be right? Well, what did they do? I've kind of given you some hints here, right? Jen rounded up to the nearest whole number, and her brother rounded to the nearest tenth. Do you see? They both started with the same number. She rounded up to the nearest whole number, and he rounded up to the nearest tenth. Okay? Jen rounded to the nearest one, right? The nearest ones place, the nearest whole number. Her brother rounded ooh, my handwriting is terrible today. Rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay. Well, that is rounding. I do think that I want to just talk to you just a little bit more about rounding. I'm going to find a space here. Let's see. Maybe there's some space. Okay. So, when we're rounding, and I have a number like, let's say, 3 and 247, right? This is the thousandths place. This is the hundredths place. This is the tenths place. And this is the whole number spot, right? The ones. And if I want to round this number to the nearest, let's say nearest hundredth, okay, that would be this place here, right? The nearest hundredth. So I'm going to look 3 and 2, those are staying the same, the ones and the tenths. But now, am I going to stay with 4 or am I going to go up to 5? So I'm going to look at the next space, right? That's a 7. So 7 says go up. So I'm going to go up, right? So the nearest hundredth would equal 3 and 25 hundredths. Okay, so you have to look, where are we going? What is the question asking? Be very careful. Is it the nearest hundredth? Is it the nearest tenth? Is it the nearest one? Right? Or is it the nearest whole number instead of one? Sometimes they say whole number. So look at the question. What is the question asking? And if it says the nearest hundredth, then you're going to look to the nearest thousandth to help you. And they draw it vertically like this. Okay? And this number line that they've given us has the number in the middle, and the nearest hundredth, remember hundredth, would be 3.25 or 3.24. And you're going to say, well, that's the same thing, except this is 3.240 and this is 3.250, all right? And 3.24 lives in between those two numbers. And you're going to look at the thousandths place to decide, are we going to go up to round up to the nearest hundredth, or are we going to go down? And that 7 tells me we're going to round up. Rounding, rounding, rounding. It's a little tricky, okay, especially now that we're using decimals. Previously you've rounded, but always with whole numbers. Maybe you rounded from ones to tens, or tens to hundreds, or hundreds to thousands. But now we're doing the same thing to the right of the decimal. Okay, thousandths to hundredths, hundredths to tenths, tens to ones. All right. So, if you have questions, please, please, please ask me them. And have a great day.